Hey everybody, welcome to the Grove, and I'm Kelly, and today I am doing a, I'm going to do part 2 of the VR of 13 uh, witchy channels. I've done one before that was from Echo the Saving Witch, and then Ivy the Occultist did one, but it was for smaller channels that are more like 2.5 million people. So I decided to do part 2. I did one before which are smaller channels. This is part 2, and some of these there's a couple that's it's definitely a mix, and there's a couple that I just came across roughly 2 months ago to a few weeks ago that I totally knew that I think needs to be out in the light. So one I'm going to start out with is the Witch of Southern Light, which is Marshall. He doesn't post as much on YouTube. He does a lot of posts a lot on Instagram. He does live videos on Instagram, and he also does a podcast with Austin called Southern Bramble. And with his YouTube channel, even though he doesn't post, you should check it out because they are really good on sigil magic. And they're pretty long, so you might want a tea, a coffee, whatever, and just watch his past videos on sigils. They're really, really good. Another person is the Health Witch. I've been following her since 2017. She is a witch who lives in England. I don't remember. I should remember what part, but she. I just love her. I love her. I like her tone of voice. I like her personality, how she records. She go. She's just phenomenal. I really, really like her. It really is. She does book reviews. She actually did one. My favorite was she did a one about a month ago, maybe almost 2 months ago, of redoing her bookshelf with her witch books. I thought that was really, really interesting. It kind of shows what she has. And yeah, go check out Hearth of the Hearth Witch. The other person I'm going to bring up is Starlight the Wild Witch. She started her channel. She does interviews. Just taught. She just did a video a couple days ago on Lunaza. She did her. She showed her altar for Lunaza, and she talks about what she did and all that stuff. And I love her voice. She has a very calming voice to the point where I don't listen to her late at night. She might lull you to sleep. So just watch her during the day when you're like cleaning or something like that. So yeah, so Starlight the Wild Witch, check her out. She's her subscribers. She's a small channel, but she should be growing. I think her channel will grow. So let's see, who else do I do? Mint Fairy. I always love Mint Fairy. I just enjoy her energy on her videos, and I'm always sucked into what she has to say, and been watching her since 2017. Uh, yeah, I just love her vibe and everything. Just she just puts a smile on my face. Next one is the Bronx Witch. I just love Allie. She does the Better Witch podcast series, which she does interviews of other practitioners of all kinds. And she has really great guests on her podcast, and I always enjoy them. So check out the Bronx Witch, Allie, and her interviews with other practitioners. The other one is Witch of Enchantment, Justin. He's a practitioner who shares a bit of his practice and he's been doing the Saint series, which I find it very fascinating and very informative. And yeah, it's called Bewitching the Saint series, and I really enjoy his vlogs. So I've been watching him, and of course, Brittany with Wine and Witchcraft. I'm gonna add those two together, as well as Brittany. Uh, so I can't just bring up Justin or Brittany without bringing up Wine and Witchcraft and both their channels. So yeah, Justin, check him out. And again, he's another one that every time I watch his videos, it puts a smile on my face. You know. Next one is, let's see, Cat and Cauldron. They have a podcast called Salty Witches. Austin and Michael, and are the owners of the store of Cat and Cauldron, hence the name of their YouTube channel. And like I said, they also host their podcast Salty Witches. What they've been doing is they've been doing their podcast, but they also post it on their YouTube so you can see their faces. They just started doing that a couple months ago. Yeah, so they really talk about stuff from deities to answering listeners' questions in the beginning. They always start out with answering a viewer or a listener's question. Usually, it's a listener's question on their podcast, and theirs is like an hour and some change, hour and a half. So go check out Cat and Cauldron, Austin and Michael's YouTube channel, and if you just want to listen to them, it's Salty Witches on Spotify or any other podcast, you know, apps that you can download on your phone and listen to. Let's see. Hang on here, scratch. I'll do some check marks here on my list so I don't get. Okay. Next person is Rodney Illustrations. I just came across him roughly about a month and a half ago. A practitioner who is also an artist. He's shared some of his artwork. He does book reviews that are really, really good. And he has a deck he made called the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot Deck with US Games Publishing. I think it came out last year. I want to say last year. I don't have the deck, which is fine. I have really plenty of decks, you know. But if you're into his, but it's something that you want to purchase, go ahead. I mean, it's really, really neat. It's really, really cool. Also, he has some interesting card spreads on his channel that I am excited to try out. So, yeah, his book reviews are really, really good. He did a book review on Psychic Witch and Mastering Witchcraft, uh, which is really, really good and just a little different. I can't explain why it's different. Just different how he, um, you know, talks. Not different how he talks. It's just his explaining. I really enjoy it, and I totally get what he's saying on his book reviews, and they just nothing but positive. Next one is Damien Eccles. He's another one I just came across not too long ago. He is a high magic practitioner who talks about high magic and other things in occult, and his videos are an hour and a half. Yeah, check out if you're into high magic. Check out Damien Eccles. He also did a video. I haven't watched it yet, but just the title. He did a video on difference between planetary planetary, working with planets and work with elements or elementals, which is really, really good. Which no, I don't know if it's really, really good. I'm sure it is good. I've only watched one video. I'm starting in the beginning. So I did his first video and just like, wow, they're long. All of his videos are pretty long. They're like an hour and a half. So check out Damon Eccles if you are into high magic practitioner. Next person is the Norse Witch. I believe you pronounce her name Bente. I believe it's Bente. She's a German practitioner, Norse pagan, whose videos are very beautiful and very insightful. I really, really enjoy her take, her explaining on Norse and Norse deities, and I just love her. I subscribe, and these are people I'm subscribed to for the most. Yeah, I'm pretty much subscribed to. So yeah, I've been a fan of Bente the Norse Witch for since her first video. Well, it came across on my feed of her very first video. I've just been hooked ever since. So let's see, a couple more. Then okay. Another one I just came across roughly 3.5 weeks ago is the Spoken Keiko. I believe is how you pronounce it. Sorry, my Massachusetts accent kind of gets in the way. He's a Germanic folk practitioner who you guess it, talks about Germanic folk magic. One of the things he does on his channel, he talks to other folks practitioners. For example, 3 weeks ago he had the Polish folk witch on there, as well as a hearth witch who's German American folk magic, and he did a video with her, which they compare between their form of folk magic to his form, kind of see what the similarities and differences are. Those are the only two he's done so far, which I think is really, really cool. He also did the Tried Witch tag. My favorite is his revisiting his former altar spaces and oak trees and Germanic folk magic. I like the oak tree as well. Yeah, check out his oak tree on Germanic folk magic. It's really, really, it's so cool. So if you want to listen and learn about Germanic folk practitioner, check out the Spoken Keiko channel. You will not be disappointed. I think I have 2 more. No, 3 more. I have 3 more. Okay. This is another person who I've been watching her since her first video, and that is Ivy the Occultist. She's a chaos magician who I have been watching since her very first video. Her and I started our channels within 6 months apart, the same year. She explains and talks about things. She explains and talks about things clearly in a way that I can understand, especially when it comes to chaos magic. I've listened to others and they're just kind of like, okay, I don't quite understand it, or I kind of start to understand it, and then they go on the left side, and I'm just like, and Ivy just knows how to explain things, and it makes I'm able to understand what she's talking about, which I think is great. So, and of course, her and I both have the same plant name of our channel, so plus. So check out Ivy the Occultist. You will never be disappointed if you want to learn about chaos magic and others. She also talks about other subjects too. If you're not on her Patreon, no, not her Patreon. If you're not on her membership, it's cheap. It's just $3 a month, and you get early access to a video as well as planetary forecast every week. And I just joined, which is free. I just joined her book club. I'm doing the first book. So I'm really excited for that. So check out Ivy the Occultist. Then the next one is, I just found her literally last week. Aster Perpetua, ASTELPERPETUA. She is a Brazilian folk practitioner who lives in France. So she was born in Brazil. She's a woman of color. She's a Brazilian folk practitioner. She grew up in Brazil, and she moved, and she's living in France. And her channel is only 6 months old. But I really enjoyed 2 of her videos that I've watched, and I'll be watching some more. So check out Aster Perpetua if you want to look into a little bit more folk magic and from a different country, who lives in a different country from her home country. So, and I haven't watched it yet for somebody who's been moving state to state in the United States. And yes, there is a difference between each state. I like the fact that she did a video of her. She did a video, I haven't watched it yet, but she did a video of how her practice is when she moved to France and living in France, which I think is kind of cool. So, okay, so, and then I have one more, last one. I found him 3 weeks ago. I was looking for some Egyptian deities, and I came across the Lunar Witch. He did a lot of TikTok, but he's planning on bringing all his TikTok videos to YouTube, just focusing on YouTube. He's done some really good channels on deities, Egyptian as well as some others he's looked at, and he's so good. I don't know. I mean, I know it's not easy making a video, but like, he's such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he knows what he's talking about, especially about his patron deity, Anubis. He's just fantastic. I every time I see a new video, I click. And this is the other thing too with most of these. Like, if I see a new video, I click. And so check out the Lunar Witch if you want to learn about other stuff. And he's done some answering questions on his YouTube channel. He's done some other stuff, but his deities, correspondence, and everything else is really good. So go check these channels out, guys. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. So that's it. I will talk to you guys later, and you'll see me again very soon. Later.